It's spinning, spinning, spinning. I don't know if we're live yet. The brothers
My
will
number,
tell us if we're live. Hold on.
my number 7 disappeared.
Number 7.
Yeah, it looks
All
like
right.
there's a
There
sofa
we
in
go.
concrete.
Yeah. It's supposed to be live.
That's what she said.
Oh, it's definitely delayed. I don't even know if it's working or not. I might have to refresh. Oh, yeah, I had to refresh. I couldn't even see my own stuff.
That's awesome.
All right. So we're here. We're live. And we got the Black Phoenix and the Rap Master talking about random junk today.
As long as we're not touching it.
Definitely not touching the junk. So we already got people in the chat. We got Road Glide Andy and My Done Life waiting for the boobies. I don't know. I can't make any promises about boobies. So we'll see what the night brings. But yeah, we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna talk about stuff, and we're just talking about wrestling. So we can just run along with that, and then we'll see where the night takes us.
Wheelchair Wrestling 2.0.
So we're talking about. So I started season 5. So that my newest video just got released yesterday. So I'm still doing once a week. So next week, spoiler alert, it's going to be my first group ride that I did when we went to Hooters. The week after that, so not this Sunday, but next Sunday is going to be a wrestling related video, right? The rise and fall of AEW, and my opinions on it. And that's what me and the Rap Master were talking about before we went live here, was just the state of AEW. And it's just, I don't know. It's just,
Garbage.
it's garbage.
Not gonna sugarcoat it.
But the thing is, it's not complete garbage. Like, there's like gems in between everything. But they've got 5 hours of TV and some stuff on YouTube. You have to dig through all of that to find the gems, and it's not worth it now. You might as well just try to find, like, dig through it after the fact and find, like, like the ad, not the ads, the articles on it. Be like, oh, so and so happened. All right, cool. Let me click on that and check out the link.
Yeah.
Like, instead of like just digging through everything. I put the StreamYard link in the chat. Anyone who wants to join us, we'll talk. Like I said, we'll talk wrestling, we'll talk bikes, we'll talk boobies, we'll talk about whatever, All right, we got our first one. We got Travis, My Done Life.
Let me know if my mic's a little too hot.
Sounded soft. You say something again?
Say something again?
Okay, yeah.
I'd be real careful with this setup, man. I will drown other people out if I'm not careful.
Okay, yeah, no, it sounds good now. But yeah, we were just talking. I got a wrestling related video coming out, so we were just talking about AEW. So
I never got into watching AEW, and I jump in and out of wrestling. As far as WWE, I did watch WrestleMania because I have Peacock, so I actually thought WrestleMania wasn't that bad. I mean, I've seen definitely worse WrestleManias.
Oh yeah, definitely been worse.
I thought the ladies stuff was pretty good, all things considered. It was probably the best ladies one I've seen in a long time.
Yeah. That's been a theme. The ladies have been rocking like the Royal Rumbles, the Summer Slams, the WrestleManias. Like, they're always they're on top of it, and that's something I will give them all the credit. There's a ton of talent on the AEW women's roster. They just don't use it, so that's why it looks like the WWE women's roster is killing it, which they are. They're just as talented, but it's almost night and day at that point. Hey, we got Road Glide Andy. What's going on?
What's going on?
We got the brothers.
Hello, brother.
We got Smyrna Cowboy in the chat too. Roadie Riders in the chat. So hanging out, talking about random stuff.
I don't know. I guess I got spoiled. I grew up in the Attitude Era, man. It feels like if you watched that era, and I was like right in between. So I was like, kind of got into the Hulk Hogan's and kind of that early era or kind of the end of his era before he transferred to WCW into what it turned into the Attitude Era. And man, God, do I miss the Attitude Era? Like,
yeah, me and Paul pretty much came up wrestling in the Attitude Era, like
Yep.
right into the Ruthless Aggression era. I think you may have stopped right when Ruthless Aggression started. I think like mid 2000s, because our last show together I think was 2006.
Correct.
And my last show ever was 2011. So I stopped. That was like I don't know what era that is. I don't know, but
So you
I-
guys were wrestlers?
yeah, we did
Yeah.
wrestling for a while.
Did not know that.
Yeah, at my peak, I weighed a little bit more. So, and
It's probably why you have all those back issues, right?
I got
My peak, I weighed a little bit less.
Yeah, it goes both ways. But yeah, my knees, my shoulders actually jacked from a motorcycle accident, but my knees and back are from wrestling.
Yeah, and I know how much of a fan you are, of wrestling in general, but yeah, like I said, for me, like I jump in every once in a while. I'll watch some Raws, I'll watch some SmackDowns, and I'm actually kind of hoping since they're moving everything to more of a streaming platform, that maybe they'll open up more of that Attitude Era style, because obviously that was their biggest thing. They got to the point where they were being censored basically. So
I think that's an interesting point, because that's what these streaming platforms can do. They're already paid for. You're not really looking at sponsors or anything like that to.
They'll never recreate it though.
They'll never recreate it fully. Like
And
really, like even the stuff that me and Paul did, even with ICW and MUW, we could not do that now. There's no
Okay,
way
no.
we could do some of that stuff.
but try something new. You know what I mean? Like you don't
Right.
have. They're trying to take new people and make them like I quit watching it because they're trying to take new people and make them do stuff that the older folks were doing. And it's not the same.
Right.
You can tell what they're doing. They need better writers.
yeah, the writing for me was probably one of the reasons why I quit. I mean, I used to watch every week, every pay-per-view, probably from, I would say, about 97 all the way up until like the 2005, 2007-ish era.
Right.
And for me, it was like every time I got into somebody, Daniel Bryan or whatever, it would drop him off. They would drop him off the face of the planet like they didn't exist.
Yeah, and that's
And
the biggest argument that I always make, because everyone says, "Oh, the Attitude Era wasn't as great as people think it was," but everybody had a role. Everybody had a story, no matter where they were on the card. Like someone's music hit, you knew who they were.
Right.
Like everyone was unique. Everyone came out.
and
And
unless there was an injury or something weird happened, they played a storyline out.
right, yeah,
It just didn't disappear. Like I
And-
couldn't believe how many times that happened.
and I don't
Like
get
even the one with the injuries and stuff that look back on is Stone Cold because he was injured most of his career.
right.
And if you look at it, he didn't do a whole lot of wrestling. Most of his stuff was jibber jabbering on the mic.
It's
Yeah.
funny if you really look at their peaks. I think Austin's peak was only 3 years, and The Rock
Yeah.
only wrestled full time for 4 years.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
That's
right.
not, in the grand scheme of things, that's not a long time
Mhm.
at all.
No, not when you compare him to somebody like Hulk Hogan, who
Right.
40
He's
plus
going-
years.
I know 40.
Yeah. Wait,
Flair,
put him back
Flair, you
to-
can probably say like 50 or 60 years at this
Yeah.
point.
Flair needs to retire.
He's
Well, I think
But that's the
it's
thing.
just-
Like even like with injuries and stuff, like even in the Attitude Era, like Stone Cold dropped off. You still had guys that would come up, and we were okay with it because we knew who they were. Now it's so tough for them to plug guys into that spot because they're just not either A, not ready, or B, you haven't built them up enough.
I think, in my opinion, like I watched The Shield. You know what I mean? That was the last that I watched, and then when they started switching off and all that stuff, they got rid of Dean Ambrose because there were some problems there, and they took Seth and made him this big thing that he wasn't. It just
It's funny because that's sort of when I tried to get back into it and I started actually enjoying it, was during that Shield kind of the anti-hero era, if you will. And the moment I started liking them, I'm like, man, they're gonna break these guys up, and the writing was on the wall. They were not gonna let these guys stay together.
Yeah.
They do the same thing with the oh crap, it's on the tip of my tongue. Their talent pre division.
Oh, NXT.
Yeah, they do that with NXT. They'll put groups of guys together. They're great together. They have lots of charisma. That they're very good in the ring. But as soon as you separate them, they're done.
Yep.
Mhm.
And it's such And guys have a hard time moving from small time development to the big time national television, and that's part of it. And I think they need to get those guys ready better for that. Which Royal Rumble's a great one. Just have them run out there, work for a few, work
Royal
some of the
Rumble was
veterans for
actually
whatever.
really, I thought was pretty good. I mean, all
Oh,
things
the Rumble was
considered.
great.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say there wasn't anything crazy exciting, like, oh my god, I can't believe this person showed up type of situation, but
Yeah,
um it was still very solid. I mean, the guys put on a hell of a show. There were a few guys you could tell, man, they were ready to jump themselves over the rope towards the end, because one guy was 65 minutes, 67 minutes, something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous. How many guys
Yeah.
can do that for 60 minutes straight?
yeah. That's another thing. The matches are just shorter now, so the guys aren't doing the 60-minute marathons anymore.
I don't. They just don't. I don't necessarily mind the shorter matches, but I do miss that Stone Cold Rock, on the mic. Even Jericho Jericho comes back here and there once in a while, and it's fun while he's back, but it also sucks because he never stays. Um,
He's on tour now, so he's off TV.
yeah, exactly. He's always on tour, and I think that's the reason The Rock is back, is because the movies got basically shit canned for 6 months.
Well, that and now he's part of the board now, TKO board.
Yeah, I kind of feel shitty, and I've heard a lot of talk about what he did as far as pushing Cody Rhodes. I think Cody deserves a good shot, a good match. Like, I mean, he's not bad talent.
No, it's not even that. And just like, do you guys want to make money? Like, it's not even about talent. It's like from the business end of things. Like, dude, you'll sell that place out. You'll sell merchandise. He gets the title. You got a whole nother set of merchandise you can sell. It's just
The title needs to stay on TV,
that
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
not
Yeah,
with a
this-
part-time,
Show up at a pay per view.
Roman Reigns, aka Brock Lesnar, and yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, Randy put up a good point. Selling the moves, and that's something that I say in my video. Like, the art of selling is just gone. Like, it's
Well, and it's also, from what I saw an interview with a couple of wrestlers, and they all kind of the kind of ones that are older but have jumped back in from time to time, and they talk about how so many moves they either can't perform the way they used to,
right.
or can't perform at all because they're just totally banned for one reason or another. And you're never going to have a Mick Foley. You're never going to have, the Dudley Boys. Like that, the TLC matches are pretty much, they were a gimmick back when they started, but they were so good towards the end of that era. But I know it, obviously it hurt people. Like there's no doubt in my mind those were not easy matches for those guys.
Yeah,
You
I
can
think
get on Peacock and you can watch, and you can see how, when it comes to selling, you can see, if you watch, you can see when it started to change.
Well, and 4K didn't help either. I mean, honestly, some of the stuff that they used to kind of get away with because TV wasn't that high res, and when high def television really came out, it changed the game. It's why movies changed. I mean, the things they used to get away with in movies can't. You watch an old movie today and it looks like garbage because they did shadows and they faded things in and out that looked fine on an old school CRT TV, but on today's TVs look like garbage. I mean, what is what it is. And I just think they're just timing and training, and I just don't feel like they're willing to take enough. There's that level of risk that you're always going to take with wrestling, and nobody's willing to do that anymore.
well, it's risk to a certain point because all their moves are high impact now, and every injury you're out for 8 months to a year. It's not like, oh, I'm out for 2 weeks because I got a bruise or I tore something. Like it's big injuries. Like CM
Yeah.
Punk is out for 8 months now with a torn tricep.
He
Again,
just came back.
Again, I know
Yep.
the guy's
Oh,
made of
God.
glass.
dude. I mean, Punk was another one of those ones I really liked, and and there's so much talk about the pipe bomb and whether or not that was real or whether that was scripted. I still have a feeling there was a little bit of both.
There
in
was a mix of both in that.
But I think like having those weird mix-ups that just pop out of nowhere, man. Those are the things we still talk about 10 years later.
I think, and when a lot of the stuff that me and Paul did, we just had bullet points. We were just like, hey, this is where we're trying to get. do what your character would do, and we'll see how it comes out. That's basically what it was. And I don't think we really did a lot of reshoots. I think if we had a technical glitch or something like that, we would reshoot it. But other than that, I think we pretty much did a lot of one takes.
No, we had our opening moment at the beginning, and then we just winged it from there.
Right.
So what was your guys' style when you were in doing that?
We were deep into like the ECW style, so it was a lot of mix of hardcore and just like in your face rated R type stuff. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that we did, we would, even if YouTube was around, one, we definitely wouldn't be monetized, and two, I don't know if we'd even be able to show it. So
Not with the language.
Yeah, the language was just
Yeah, the language is what kills you these days. And then, even if you look at, think about kind of the culture change. When you think about like the Insane Clown Posse, they were with what was the group they were subbed with? It was the whole group of misfits. The
The
oddities. The oddities.
When they were in WWF.
Yeah, you couldn't do that today. Like, there's no way you could
That
get
would-
away with it.
You could try, but I feel like it would probably get squashed in a couple weeks or something like that.
The backlash.
Look at the stuff New Jack did.
Oh, New Jack's the man. We both love that guy. Say what you will about him, but that guy, like, if you look at what he did in Smoky Mountain Wrestling with Jim Cornette, and then what he did with ECW is just, I don't think he gets enough credit, honestly.
Like throwing a dude off a scaffolding.
That's who I modeled my character after.
That's
Intentionally stabbing a dude in the ring, like literally stabbing the dude.
Using a stapler on his forehead.
Yeah,
there's a section, and this is where I'm torn because I grew up in that section of wrestling, almost like the carny, and then you got like the the business side of it. So I'm kind of right in the middle of that, where like I'm cool with like the New Jack type, and I'm also cool with like I'm gonna wear a suit to this, and treat this like a business type thing. But I think that's definitely been phased out. You don't see a lot of the guys, like kayfabe guys, like that anymore. But New Jack was about protecting the business, and he kind of just went too far with it a lot of the times.
Yeah.
But if you were on his good side, you guys were friends forever, basically. So.
Yeah, there's a thing. What's it called? Dark Side of the Ring, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that, and there's.
I watched it with my wife, and she was like, "What the?"
Yeah, some of the they talk about like Andre the Giant, talk about how much beer that dude would drink in a day, like, but you also look at Mick Foley. The stories about he used real barbed wire. It was never shaved. It was never like, and just the stupid things the guys used to do. And even I think in an interview Mick Foley had, he's like, "Yeah, I couldn't get away with that today." He said even in the most hardcore wrestling that's out there, they don't do that anymore.
Nothing mainstream. No, you can't get anywhere. There's like a ceiling for that, and you can't even get any sort of promotion or videos out or anything.
Blood is pretty. As soon as blood happens, that's it. It's done.
Well, AEW is bringing that back. They let those guys bleed freely. So,
Yeah.
Cody was bleeding every week at one point.
The biggest decision in wrestling that I probably disagree with was when The Undertaker had his retirement match with Brock. It shouldn't have been Brock.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been anybody. It shouldn't have been anybody. That's one title that should have been left alone.
Nope, that one should have been Triple H.
I don't even know if I'd want Triple H.
Triple H, because Undertaker retired Shawn after
you got this
Hell in a Cell matches, so Triple H should have doubled down with, which I believe he did. Didn't Triple H do 2 matches with Undertaker as well?
I think
2 years in a row.
Total 2 years in a row, but I think they had 4 total matches at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Triple H should have been the one to hang that one up.
That's almost a thing, and I know Marcus said it too.
Just because of his position and where he is in the company and who he is. You know what I mean? That's the one that should have done it.
Yeah, Mark was saying in his interviews now, like he wanted to be someone who that would like elevate them. Like, why already have a guy that's up here? What does he need it for?
Right.
Get a guy who's on the line, who's just about to come up, give him that bump, and he's made. But,
Right.
Yeah,
But
just
I'm more as a viewer, you know what I mean, as a fan, more
right,
fan traditional.
and now in hindsight, with everything going on, yeah, no one's even going to
Yeah.
talk about the Brock thing anymore. So,
Oh, Brock is just so back and forth between WWE and UFC, you know, bouncing back and forth and stuff like that. Why give that bump to a guy like that? You know what I mean? And as big as he is and the carnage that he causes, why does he need that bump? He doesn't.
mm-mm.
I always
You
thought
know?
he was pushed in the worst way. Like he could have been to me a one that people are going to talk about 20 years from now, and I just feel like they did him all wrong. Like and I don't know if it's because of what I hear about his personality, about how he really is, or just the way they marketed him and whatnot. But I didn't feel like he was all that. Like,
Well,
there was nothing
he doesn't care about the business. He just cares about the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, like he treats it seriously. Like go out there and do his job. But as far as passion for the business, he doesn't have it.
Well, a
in
lot
some
of
of his
guys
interviews.
don't.
No,
wanna-
and I respect him because he'll tell you that.
Right.
He's
yeah,
in the business to make money. That's why he shouldn't have got that bump.
Yep.
And was it even really a bump?
not really.
Yeah.
Hey, we got Road Reality joining us. What's up?
Good old John.
John.
But
John can't kick us all out today.
yeah, let's catch up. Yeah, we got Roadie Riders. We got Miss Ashley in here. We got So I know some people online have been saying the teasing between The Rock and Triple H. Triple H can't wrestle. He can't step in a ring again. He's done. Like the guy nearly died to like heart failure. So
Well,
Right.
and I would imagine with his current contracts, I'm sure he
they
probably is not.
they
allowed
probably
to.
won't even let him. I don't even think he has a wrestling contract anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, and like I said, I was kind of surprised with the whole Rock thing, but I kind of figured, like I said, it was hey, I'm here because the movie stuff isn't happening right now, so I don't know. I loved the Rock back in the day, but I'm not feeling it this time around.
Yeah, and he'll probably just do a one and done thing. So like and he's older now, so even his stuff with Cena, like he was younger, he was already blown up.
Right.
Like if you don't do this constantly, or if you're on a part-time schedule, it's a lot harder. Like I know me and Paul always talk about, hey, we got to go and do one more match, but we would literally probably have to train for at least a month just to do one like 10-minute match. Like it's not as easy as people think.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I did some backyard stuff way back when I was a kid, and I did, high school wrestling back in the day. But yeah, I could never physically I always kind of had that pipe dream of being, in wrestling, but I knew my body couldn't take it. Like I had so many knee problems.
Yeah, it'd be braced
I
up.
wanted to be a bull rider.
I could see you doing that, Andy. And it would be the biggest, ugliest bull on the planet.
I wouldn't go after the one that everybody could ride. I'd want the one that nobody could ride.
Nice. But yeah, I think the issue that I don't want to speak for Paul, but what I would have is I'd be like, I'm going to do all the same shit I used to do. I'm going to try to pull off all the same moves, and I probably could. I don't know if they're going to end well, but
But I think I get half the moves I used to be able to do.
So all the backflips and stuff off the top rope, the German suplexes, all that stuff, the backdrop drivers. It's like I don't think the physical bumps I'd even be able to take anymore.
The bump to the outside of the floor, breaking a tailbone. Nope, can't do that anymore either.
Yeah, that was your fault though.
Yeah, I know.
No one told you to bump that way. You're just like, I'm just gonna fly off the ring from this Hogan type punch.
Hey, it looked good until it hit the floor.
It sounded painful.
Yeah, it was broken.
Yeah, so I punched this dude off the apron, right? He literally backs bumps off the apron flat onto a mat, like on wooden floor. It goes boom, thumps. The next spot is me cross-bodying him. I have to stall because he's not even up yet. So, like, I'm waiting for him. He does his little spin. I'm like, all right, let me climb the rope, brother. Let me wait for you. we still hit all the spots. We still finished the match and everything, but it's like we had to kind of like slow it down a little bit. Like, all right, you cool? We good?
Yeah, but
But-
sometimes it is. It's nice when they slow it down a little bit. Sometimes it looks good when it's quick and it's fast paced, and other times it feels like you need to slow down but again, the delivery's got to be there. It's
Mhm.
If you can't do it clean, then you're going too fast. That's what I used to tell the people I was training.
yeah,
Like if it's clean, they don't care how fast it is. If you're going fast and you fuck up, they'll notice that.
Or if you can't do the move, don't try it.
That's the biggest problem I see, and that's the problem I had with Sammy Guevara. I would never get in a ring with Sammy. I no offense to him as a person, but he is sloppy and dangerous. He knocked out Jeff Hardy on Rampage, a
Yep.
throwaway Rampage match. So for some reason, Tony loves to do this shit. A no DQ match, Jeff Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. I don't know what the build was, but they opened up Rampage, no entrances to that match. So
There wasn't.
Sammy, I don't know. Like, why are they wrestling? I don't know. But so Sammy goes to do a shooting star. Jeff puts his knees up. Sammy compensates, and his leg comes right down on Jeff's head and smacks him against the mat. Jeff is out.
ouch.
He's out. They called the mat. They went home. They finished the match, but obviously there was more time left. But it's like that. It's that type of stuff. I'm like, I've never seen him hit a clean top rope move, ever.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting into the high flying stuff, man, it's you got to have
Hey, it's
gotta-
time.
you got to practice it. You have to, obviously the people you're working with has to understand how to set those up to not only look good from a, whether or not they're going to hit it or not hit it, but man, if you're not careful, it's real easy to. I've seen guys do exactly what you're talking about. They put their leg up or whatever. Literally, you can tell they broke their leg. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, broke their femur. I mean, because
And
they
we
just
had,
didn't set it right.
We had a few of us wrestling that like our spots were legitimate misses every single time.
450 every
Yeah,
single
like-
time.
You never hit the 450 because we knew we wouldn't be able to land it safely. We're like, all right, so let's build around you missing it, and that's how we would incorporate stuff. And we had a good when I was training after Paul had stopped. I had a good group that I kind of understood that, and we were going through all the training. I'm like, you could work around it. Like A don't do the move, B tease it, C hit, miss the move. There's things that you can do to kind of incorporate all of that. See me. It'll be desperate times. Yeah, we gotta get everybody down in Van.
So-
We got a
so-
ring set up.
Selfie pics on OnlyFans, Road Reality. It'd be safer for you.
Now, so what we need to do is get all of us together and do it while we're all watching Raw and just commentary the whole thing.
Definitely, yeah. Mr. G's got a big farm. We can get like a projector or something out there, side of the barn, just all of us watching Raw or something.
Yeah,
I
we
was
might all-
looking. They have like projector screens for easy ups. Because we have the camper now to pull with the bike, and we're going to be taking it easy up with us.
Oh,
So, the wife was showing me where you can get like one wall panel that you put up that's for a projector. I'm
That
like,
would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah, but at the same time, I tell everybody all the time, I'm just some dumb hillbilly from the hills of West Virginia. I don't know how none of that shit works.
That's why you all call me whenever you
Most of them aren't bad though, and sometimes I even have all-in-one units now. I think that you just kind of like plug stuff into and just like all-in-one like laptop projector type deal. But
Yeah, well, now you can get those big like outdoor inflatable screens or whatever.
that too. Yeah.
You throw a $50 projector at it, and you're
Speaking
not
of,
looking for quality there,
Speaking of Van, Mr. G's in the house.
Mr. G.
Mr. G.
How's it going? So, yeah, so we did a live stream yesterday with CDL and the guys. We were talking about VAM and stuff. So, and we're doing
Yeah.
a pre-VAM meetup.
VAM
down
is
in
always
Tennessee.
fun. Because of the unexpected first grandchild that's going to be happening here in June. Right now, most of my plans are kind of on greasy hold until we have all that sorted out. So, I was I had a spot to possibly go to Sturgis this year that was going to be really cheap, but unfortunately, the wife has just been spending nonstop on this whole new baby thing coming. So
Yeah, it happens. Part of life.
yeah, the wife is a little baby crazy right now. In fact, if I switch cameras, you can sort of see it. Over here is a whole pile of shit from Amazon for the party. So
Diapers.
there's that too.
Isn't that fun? Coming home and you always see a package on the porch, but it's not yours.
Oh, when my wife was pregnant with my daughter, that was my first child, and I was buying diapers like crazy. I was going to Sam's Club. I was buying while she was still pregnant. They're like, you understand the baby's not here yet. I was like, you understand I'm going to be prepared and not be trying to buy diapers and formula and all this stuff every week. Formula was one thing because we couldn't. She tried to breastfeed, but the baby didn't take, and then we had to buy formula, and you don't know,
What kind?
what it's going to be like on them. So.
Right.
Lucky enough, we were able to use cheap stuff from Sam's Club. It was like,
Got lucky.
what,
Yeah.
dude? It cost me like $20 a week for formula, and I had diapers. I think we still had newborn diapers left over when my second kid came along, and I did the same thing. In fact, if I get on my Amazon thing, it shows me things that are on my list, and diapers are still on there. I never took them off. But yeah, I stockpiled on diapers and wipes like nothing, and I never had to go to the store and buy diapers.
Yeah, it's kind of what we're doing. We're fine. My wife right now is the only one that knows the gender. Everybody else finds out on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, party's on Sunday.
Nice.
And then his family is going to do the actual baby shower, so they'll get more of the diapers and wipes. Like everything with this one's going to be mostly diapers and wipes. So yeah, that's the plan, is to stock up on that stuff. Because man, God, I remember how expensive it was when these guys were kids. Jesus, it is now. It's crazy. $50. We used to get them for $20. You know.
What are you talking about? I was getting a full box of the Pampers Swaddlers for like $12.
Yeah, none of my kids, they couldn't use any of the Pampers ones. It always had to be Huggies because they literally poop straight out of them. Anything else?
We had good luck with Pampers.
And then you know what? They get older, and then they want like cars and stuff. So it doesn't stop.
Toys. You go Christmas shopping, you buy them all this stuff for Christmas. They play with one or two things, and then it's all. We probably every 3 months we go through the kids' rooms and clean stuff out, take it down to a donation center.
Yep, that's what we would do. We'd donate everything.
It's like ridiculous. I mean, I don't just want to throw it out. Somebody less fortunate could enjoy it.
Definitely.
Literally, what we spent on. Obviously, like I said, my kids are older, but my niece's kids and all that. Literally, I could have went to Disney World. I told my wife, because I was like, you realize we could have went to Disney World and got the nice hotel for what she spent for an entire. That'd been a whole week at Disney World for what she spent.
I got them now to where the kids want to get on the bike, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, mine's already past that stage. He's going to be 14, so he kind of wants to do his own thing.
Yeah.
He'll be wanting his own bike before too long, right?
Well, he wants bikes, he wants cars, he wants all that stuff. So
I think
told him to get a job.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, my daughter, she couldn't get her driver's license fast enough, and my son, who's right here, still hasn't got his license yet.
Slacker.
I'm literally driving the truck I bought him right now because my daughter went to Chicago with her car that we bought her. It got stolen, even though she wasn't sure what garage she parked it in downtown Chicago. But they did find it about 3 months later, like 40 miles north of Chicago, with the side window busted out. So it
I was like 6 years old driving a 3 on the tree.
Dude, I think about back when of course I lived out in the country. We had farm equipment and pickup trucks and four wheelers and dirt bikes and whatever. It was nothing for me to hop in my dad's truck. It was a manual transmission Ford Ranger and drive it around town to go pick up something wherever. If like 12 and 14 years old.
Like at 14, I had 2 full-time jobs.
I practically did.
Yeah, I was definitely already working that young.
Yeah, when I wasn't at school, I was home splitting wood or working the local farms, baling hay and feeding cattle and horses and all that kind of stuff. So for me when I was playing football, that was my only break from that. So
Yeah, I got out early. I didn't finish school, so then I decided to end up working full time and then wrestling and all that. So that was the bulk of my time and money. Living off the dollar menu when there was still a dollar menu.
when it wasn't,
Yeah.
dollar.
Or like gas station hot dogs or anything like that. The funniest thing when I talk about gas station hot dogs, so these guys came up from Mexico from the Torreon 2000 project to train us in Pennsylvania, and we broke for lunch. So we went to a gas station and kind of did stuff. He was asking questions about the hot dog, like all the food. I have like the food and everything. Dude, the dude loved it. He bought like 7 of them. He's like, I love these. These are so good. We're like, there's better stuff around here. But that's where they're from. They're like, they don't get stuff like that. He's like, no, I want gas station hot dog. I'm like, okay, dude, if that's what you want. But those guys were funny.
Yeah, and back then they were probably gas station hot dog was probably like in hot dog water, right?
Oh yeah, it wasn't the roller one.
Right. It was the hot dog water.
But they loved Moco too. I mean, I know Paul, remembers Moco. He passed away a few years ago. He was younger than us, but dude, what was he like? 6'4", 6'5"? He was probably like 350. Yep. He was a huge guy, dwarfing these little Mexican wrestler guys. They were like, hey, pick me up, throw me here. And he's like, okay, I don't care. I'll pick. He's just like tossing these dudes. And then they were amazed at how much he could eat.
Or the fact that his hands hurt when he chopped you. Yeah.
Giant, like, Andre mitts. Just, like, come down, just, like...
Yeah, we used to call it meat clubbing.
But,
I was just... slap into a Slim Jim.
Yep.
I don't know what was worse, hitting those ropes with the steel ropes and getting the black and blues on the back, or getting chopped by him and going home and be like, what the hell happened to my chest?
Yeah, just getting meat clubbed.
Smyrna, they make a seatbelt that, like, goes around you and then it'll go around her. You don't got to worry about her feet touching. She won't fall off.
Yeah, and you got not Spider. Yeah, you can strap her in. She got armrests and everything. She's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took my daughter to, what was it? Port Royal for the flat track races. She fell asleep for the ride up. She almost fell off the bike, and I caught her because she fell asleep. I just had a dirt bike helmet on her, and we stopped and got her an actual helmet. And then I told her, I said, when you get sleepy, just sit back there and play with the radio button. Find something you want to listen to.
Yeah.
And when she wasn't playing with the radio button, that's why I knew something was wrong. And I kind of put one hand back there just to hold her. But she slept. We got to the races, and she was wide awake. She was up all night. Go to get breakfast in the morning, and ended up running her without food a little too long, and she got a real bad headache. But once we got some food in her, she was fine. And then took her down to New River Gorge Bridge for a couple nights. Right around down there. If it was raining or it was dark, she was fine. She was a chatty bug. On the way back, luckily, my friends had a pickup truck, and she ended up riding back with them part of the way because she's got her mom's symptoms. She gets real bad headaches. She got bad headaches, so they put her in the truck, and she went to sleep, and they brought her home.
Yeah, it's kind of the one of the pros of three-wheelers if your passenger, gets tired or whatever, they're not really. It takes effort to fall off of those, basically.
She'd have been all right if she was a little bit taller. I
Yeah.
bought her a pair of boots so her feet would touch, or if I'd have had something to tie her on. But now she's good; she can touch. I think I'm gonna buy the passenger highway pads, the adjustable deals that will fold up, so that'll give the wife more feet positions. Plus, mainly for the kids to put the kids on because they love the camper. We've slept in the garage; they don't want to get out of it. So
Yeah, I've taken the niece's kids. I have a like a fabric belt, and I literally wrapped it around them in the back seat and just took them around the block, and they just thought it was their best thing ever. Um, and they honestly had been begging for a while to go on a ride on the motorcycle, and I was happy to make their day and whatnot. And but honestly, with the talk about sleep, my wife, it's so funny. Like a few years ago, she started riding with me a little bit on the Sportster, and I'm not a small guy. I'm not by any means. And literally with her and me, like my balls were on the tank of that Sportster. Like I couldn't. There was no comfort for me for either one of us on the Sporty. And I'm like, okay, maybe we need to move up to the Dyna. And I bought the Dyna thinking, oh, I could with a 6-speed Dyna, I could take a highway trip, no big deal, which is something that was hard to do in the Sportster because it was hard mounted, 5-speed and all that. And I was like, okay, this will be great. I'll add a couple things, make it nicer for the wife. And then it was like I could count on one hand how many times she didn't ride with me, and I did as much as I possibly could to make it as comfortable as I could, and it just
Right.
wasn't enough. And I'm like, I finally last year I was like, honey, I think we need to. As much as I hate to admit it, we need to buy a bigger bike, and ultimately like I ended up spending way more money than I wanted to spend on it. But she was kind of like, hey, what about that one? Because it's her favorite color, and of course it was an Ultra CVO with the big 110 twin cam in it. And she's like, "Do you like bike?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Of course I like bike." And she's like, "Just buy the damn bike." So, now she falls asleep. And
yep.
and John, the video, if any of you guys have seen where John almost got hit by a deer or almost hit
Yeah.
a deer, if you watch, you can see my wife. Her helmet is leaning on my back. She was asleep through that whole thing.
Oh man.
So her being so comfortable now with me, even on the dragon where we were at, and literally falling asleep. So
That's my wife. My wife was our wedding day. We ended up riding 1,200 miles, and she was in Georgia twice in the same day and don't even remember it because she was asleep.
It's a lot.
But she's a trooper, dude. She'll sit back there and she'll ride as long as I can twist that throttle. She don't complain.
my wife doesn't do too bad. I mean, after a couple hundred miles, she wants to get out and stretch her legs. 150 miles or so. But other than
Uh,
that, yeah, she doesn't. With the exception of when you guys take us down the curviest back hill road on the planet in the middle of West Virginia. Um, other
I
than that, she never complains.
I get the head slaps, and I get that'll be enough of that shit.
Oh, I gotta.
That's that's what I get. Like down at Oon when we went across the triple nickel, um, there was just some behind the scenes things going on that had me a little frustrated. And after we pulled out of the gas station, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna tear this road up. I know it." And that's what I did. And I come up over one hill, and there was a real hard left hand turn that I knew about, and I ended up coming over it and high siding the bike. If we hadn't been running 80 mile an hour around it, the bike would have went down. It was
Oh,
because we were going so fast it carried us. We get the bike home, it's all scarred up, primary's all scratched up. Heat shield on the crossover pipe's got a hole in it. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you and Jason love to scrape the pegs. Uh, I've just never enjoyed that at all. Like I don't mind getting almost to that point, but I don't like being there. Um, Yeah, I guess for me, like on the Dyna, I had a pretty bad. In fact, it was on the triple nickel. I was with Jason, and I didn't know originally that the exhaust was turned incorrectly. So the bracket was sticking down way lower than it was supposed to on the right hand side, and the way it was sticking out when I leaned in to make a right hand turn, it literally grabbed the pavement and tried to pull me to the ditch. And I won't say it completely scared me, but like it's just like I said, it's not comfortable for me to do that. You know,
Just
on a
push a
bike.
little harder, it'll be all right.
It'll go back into place. Yeah.
Yeah, like I
Just
said,
push a little harder.
even Jason, because Jason said he saw it in his rearview mirror. He saw the bike jerk to the right. Like I had to jerk it left to keep it from going in the ditch. So yeah, afterwards I started taking a look at it and I started looking at pictures and I realized, oh, they turned the because the slant was like kind of like this. I know it's kind of hard to say with the, but anyway, it was slanted in the wrong direction. It should have been out and not basically down. So, like I said, the bracket, I mean, that was almost 2 inches below where it should have been. So,
That's why you just got to get the plates that these guys run. That way, when you hit it, it's smooth and you can make all the
Yes.
cool sparks.
all the cool sparks.
I'll
yeah.
tell you what, them things will. If you're not careful, I've hit some spots just being an asshat. If you're not careful, those titanium pieces will grab and it feels like it wants to rip you off. Now, if you're going across good smooth pavement or concrete, good smooth concrete, fine. You get into some of that grooved concrete and they haven't done it right, and you're going across the grooves,
Oh,
yeah,
right.
it'll grab you and it'll. But if you're going across smooth pavement or smooth concrete, that thing's down on there and that floorboard wants to kick up, you just push down on it a little bit harder. Stand on it.
Yeah, I was behind Doyle at VAM a couple times, and I saw him hitting the sparks.
Yeah.
Oh, you were there with me, I think. What day was it? Wasn't that the day we were going up to the coal mine and he was coming up along everybody?
Yep, I
Yeah.
caught that. Yep, I put that.
Yeah,
on
you got that on video. He about. I was like, oh shit! Like I slowed
was-
down. I saw what was going to happen way ahead of time. And he's not paying attention, and
then
I'm
he's
like,
and then he's laughing about it at the coal mine. I'm like, Doyle, that was close. He goes, Nah, it was good. I'm
Yeah,
like, that was close.
no, that wasn't good, and that wouldn't have just took him out. Man, it took Mr. G, me, you.
The whole row. Yeah, that was there.
That would have took quite a few of us out. I was like, oh shit! I'm looking for my strategy as to where I'm going to go. Mr. G might have got around it because Mr. G
I
was
think he was-
behind it.
Yeah, it was a little bit more forward.
He was on the other side of him. So yeah, Mr. G might have been ahead of that one, but us, Mr. G didn't even see it, so he'd have been. Because I asked him, I said, "Did you see it?" He was like, "I didn't see nothing." Yeah.
So for those who don't know, we were on like this 2 or 3 lane road, and then we took like an off road. And I guess I do understand what Doyle was saying. It kind of looks like an off ramp, and there's not a lot of lines or anything. But it was a 2-lane road, so we're all on the right side. Doyle's on the left, passing us, and he's still on the left taking this turn. And there was a pickup truck coming the other way. So we're in the middle of this S turn, and I mean, he moved that bike good. Like he did his brakes and he did his S turn around and everything, but that could have been bad.
Yeah, he didn't panic. He was just like, "Oh shit!" Boop.
Oh, he just went into instant evasion mode and just.
Yeah, that was. Ooh.
I mean, those.
Oh.
Check
And I know how it feels to try to move a big bike, but I mean, I give guys props who can move a bike like that. You know,
They're
that
not-
quickly.
They're not as bad as people think. Like I used to think that smaller bike, easier to handle, easier to move around. It don't matter how big it is, as long as the wheels are turning, it ain't falling over. You don't balance the bike. The only time you balance the bike is at speeds under 10 mile an hour. Other than that, that bike will hold itself up. I mean, take a bicycle and run down the road with it. Strap the handlebars tight and straight. You don't even really got to do that. We've all rode bicycles and let go of the handlebars, so you get moving fast enough. Pedal a bicycle and jump off the back of it and watch what it does. It'll go until it slows down or hits something. It'll go and stay upright until it loses momentum, and then it'll fall over.
Yeah, really with the big bikes, it really is the stops and the slow speed. That's where the hardest part. And obviously, I kind of got the feel from Sportster Dyna to obviously a full touring bike, and I was scared of it at first. Like I'll be honest, it even come to the realization that I was about to buy one or I bought one. My first thing was I got to get on a parking lot. And I was talking back and forth with Jason because at one point Jason's like, "Why don't you borrow mine? See if you can even, if that's what you want." I'm like, "No, I could. I wouldn't feel right if if I hurt his bike." And um, which Jason was like, "Yeah, whatever." Like he's like, "You can't do anything I haven't done to it already,
Right.
except maybe crack the frame." I don't think I'd want to do that, but um, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. And definitely you do notice the weight, but once you kind of get used to it, it's really not as bad as some people think it is. But you do have to have enough strength though to hold it up, and definitely I think that was where I struggled at first, was getting used to the holding up, especially two up.
I take that thing, and you guys have met my wife, both of Black Phoenix and Travis. I take that thing with the wife on the back of it. I'll have it in neutral at a long red light. Usually I don't go in neutral, but I'll need to stretch out because I got back and feet problems and leg problems, all kind of stuff. But I'll stretch out and I'll stand up and I'll have that bike just balancing between my legs and I'll throw it from side to side with my legs. They're balanced well. They're getting it off the kickstand. That's not even hard. If you turn the handlebars all the way to the right, thing come right up off the kickstand.
Yeah, the only thing I really struggle is the pushing it back or pushing it forward. When you in a situation where you can't use obviously the power to move the bike, but
That's when you just cut a sharp U-turn.
and sometimes that's true. But like in my driveway or whatever, I'm trying to back the bike out of the garage and then make a bit of a turn. Sometimes I have to do a second backup to get that final right hand turn. And
Yeah, I do U-turns in my garage.
your garage is bigger than mine. You ever seen a picture of my bike in the garage? It literally barely fits. I can shuffle my fat ass between my toolbox and the bike, and that's it.
My garage ain't that big.
You can put a car in your garage.
But yeah, I have my truck in there. Yeah,
Yeah, it's way bigger than what I got.
I mean
I got a shed.
I have a 2-car garage, but I've got the bike, the camper, cabinets, all kind of stuff. Workbench, 2 tractors, log splitter.
It sounds like a big garage.
It's not.
It's just stuff.
It's
for
not.
shit.
If you walked up to it, you'd be like, "You got all that shit in there?" Yeah.
Later, Mr. G.
I see you, Mr. G. But
Yeah.
Sparta
had
brought up a good point with doing like the Christmas parades and stuff. Is the stop and go and just kind of like the sitting there and stuff. So
Yeah.
so the spiders and obviously the Rikers. There's no clutch. There's no nothing. Whatever. So Melissa now has the RG3. And she's doing parades with it, and she's finding with the clutch and the shifting and everything, she's having a hard time with the stopping and because she plays like the Grinch and stuff, and she's trying to get off and do stuff. She's finding that that's a little bit more awkward. But
You kind of eventually, building up your hand strength and
yeah,
the old school. What was those things we used to use in school with the spring load?
yeah,
keep
I,
your hands-
I don't know what the actual name of those things
I
are.
don't either,
I know
but-
what you're talking about.
Gripper. They grip it. I have a kit somewhere around here from where I had my elbow surgery. It's got the one where it's got the springs on it and you can do individual fingers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've got all kind of that stuff. The bands, like the rubber bands that go around each individual finger, you're supposed to spread out. They've got different tensions on them. Spread out, hold it. Yeah, that's a nightmare.
So you think you're ever gonna get rid of that Road Glide and get a new one or a newer one?
No, I'll never buy another Harley again.
How many miles you got on that bike now?
almost 70. Last year was a bad year because we did VAM and all that stuff. But for me, mileage wise, VAM was bad year, or last year was bad year because end of August I was done. Usually I'm riding through December, but I did that trip down to Seneca Rocks and Blackwater Falls for the day. Met up with Sean from UCM Pigs and rode around. We got to Blackwater Falls. I got off the bike. He's like, "Dude, you all right?" Because I couldn't hardly walk. I was like, "I'll be fine." So I just need to walk it off and stretch it out. It didn't get no better as the day went on. And when I stopped at my last gas spot, I was like, I don't care how bad I got to piss. If I'm not getting off this bike till I get home. And I knew I could make it home on a tank. So that's what I did. And I got home. The wife had to get me off the bike. I think that was a Saturday. I laid around Sunday. And then Monday I couldn't get out of bed. She took me to the ER and found out my back was broke again.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I was off work for 2 months fighting over that, trying to get the MRI, see what's going on. And I was like, I can't stay around. I got to go back to work. So I've been working since middle of October with broken back.
Yeah,
So-
that's crazy.
I'm going to get it fixed here beginning of next month.
How long does that put you out though?
4 to 12 weeks.
So you'll be ready to jump on that bike as soon as they let you.
Dude, I'm having it done over in Columbus.
Oh, are you? So you
Yeah,
my way.
That's who did. We were just out there a couple weeks ago. We had dinner with Jason and Angela.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you
'Cause
were
of-
this way.
Yeah, I went to the Red Barn and put my order in for shirts because I've been trying to get a hold of them through email and stuff like that, and they wouldn't respond to me. So, anybody in the side chat, if you've got a McStash shirt and you're going to VAM,
I got one.
bring it with you because I'm going to make you the deal of a lifetime on it. You guys have heard of the game Capture the Flag? I'm playing Capture the Stash.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make a note to bring any of my McStash stuff down now.
Bring your McStash stuff.
Yep.
Do it. Anything you got that's McStash, bring it.
I got
We're-
one of his
we're going-
hoodies too. So,
Bring it. We're going to have fun.
but yeah, we're talking about surgeries and stuff. I had to go. I haven't talked about it, but my elbows have been all messed up. So they finally did X-rays and stuff like that. So nothing is broken, nothing's weird, no ligaments. They think it's whatever that band is that goes right down here, kind of in the middle, because it's been inflamed.
It's your tendon. It goes all the way to your fingers.
Yeah,
You've
they
got
call it
what, tennis elbow.
tennis elbow. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm like, all right, and they're like, what do I? Because I started lifting weights and stuff again. They're like, stop doing what you've been doing. I'm like, but that's how I'm feeling better. Like
No.
like lifting weights and the working out and stuff, and even like the riding. I'm like, all right, fine. So I dropped the weights, and I I got a brace now for when I do stuff. So it's better
It-
now. So
there's a procedure because I had it done. They go in and they cut that bad part out, and they'll stretch that tendon out, and they screw it back to the bone. So, and then you basically got to let it heal up. But I think what was it? I had my done. They told me not to do anything for like 2 weeks, and I think after 2 days, I was up painting, remodeling the dining room and everything. I think after 6 or 7 days, I went down to the garage to see if I could pull the clutch in. I was like, "Yep, I'm pull that clutch in. All I gotta do is be able to pull it in once."
right.
So I was on the bike in a week, and but I rehab myself vigorously from stuff like that because I've been there before and I broke my back, fractured my pelvis, both my feet all at the same time years ago, and it's just been I've got rods in my back already and everything. So I mean, it's that I don't mess around when it comes to that stuff. The more you push it to heal, better it'll be.
That's right.
At the same time, if it causes pain, then you just get used to the pain. It's physical pain is a mental thing. You got to have a strong brain to program that out. You guys should know that from wrestling. You know, the physical pain's there, but if you take your mind, you can overcome that physical pain. You know.
It's the weirdest thing. It's almost like an adrenaline thing too. It's like when
Mm-hmm.
we're like training and we're doing bumps and stuff, you feel it more. When we're in the match and the bell rings and you got everyone there and whatever, we
Yep.
don't feel it till we get in the back. Like when
Right.
we're going through everything.
And even then, it might be an hour afterwards.
Well, yeah, it's not right away either.
Yeah, I remember a lot of like I said, doing a lot of sports and stuff like that, and that was exactly how it happened with me. And now, like I said, my knees creak and pop and do all that kind of stuff. And beginning of last season, in between trying to get the bike, the handlebars swapped out on the bike, I messed up my shoulder and pinched a nerve, and I probably spent six or 7 weeks going to the chiropractor, getting adjusted till it finally let loose. Literally, I could feel like the tension from the back of my neck down my shoulder, like it was down the back of my arm. At one point, he was a little concerned. He thought maybe it was a heart. I could have been having a heart attack, but I have regular tests and whatnot done, so I was fine there. But I've had so many problems with my neck and my back, and over the years, it's become normal. I mean, I went here about a month ago and just got a slight tune-up because my neck was kind of stiff, and I'm like, I might as well just get a tune-up in here. Did that for about maybe 4 sessions, and then I was good. So.
No, that's the weirdest thing. Out of all the stuff I did, especially the heavy bumps, my neck and like the shoulder, like this area is messed up from the motorcycle accident, but from wrestling, it's fine. It's my L4 and L5 disc that's messed up. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because I would high side every bump. So that's what I was trying to explain to the doctors. I'm like, why is it just that one? Like, what happened where I just banged up that one disc constantly, where it looks like I'm, it's like pretty much non-existent. It's like a little, like 70-year-old.
Well, I mean, you have
degenerated disc. So
yeah, you have to think about how you land it, and all it takes is that one bad land on your pelvic.
Right.
That's pretty much how I messed up my, I think L5. I think mine's L5, L6 is where I have my problems. It's lower, but not quite that.
Yeah, that's a little bit lower than mine. Like, I don't even know if, Paul, if you noticed, I started bumping different, especially that match in 2006 that we had. I was bumping sideways like Ric Flair. Like, I couldn't take a straight back bump.
Well, no, you also got dropped on your head numerous times, too. Cookie
Yeah.
sheets didn't help.
Cookie sheets. I remember
Dude,
those.
Just the straight shots. Yeah, and that's something else that just totally different that I still battle with the tinnitus and like the headache. The headaches are actually better a little bit. I've gotten those to go away, but I still have the memory thing. I still have some weird symptoms of, the concussions and the possible CTE, but
And the clock's coming at your face.
yeah. Yeah, so this guy used to wear a clock around his neck, and one match we like, what's the ending? He's like, I'm gonna hit you with the clock, brother.
Just the clock, then the guitar, then the chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
The chair of doom.
Yeah, God, like I said, going back to the wrestling thing, I miss the old days in wrestling. It was just, again, I understand why they don't do a lot of that anymore, but it was so much fun to watch.
And we had been talking about just getting a building and a ring. Like, I would not even worry about doing a match. I would want to promote and just like train people.
Yes.
Like that's where I would be at. I'd be like, I want to teach people coming up, like kind of like the old way of how we used to do things.
Well, isn't that kind of what like Shawn Michaels and those guys are doing
that's
now?
That's what he's doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty much
psychology portion of it.
Yeah, and yeah, like I said, I wish I could have done that stuff back in the day, but I'm glad I didn't.
The tennis elbow, it will not get any better. Like, it's not going to heal. It's not going to heal on its own, because in order for it to heal on its own, you literally have to not use that arm for like 6 to 8 months. You know what I mean? Well, you shower with it, you wash with it, you wipe your ass with it, all that stuff. You use them, you cook, you do everything with your hands and those muscles. The best thing, find somebody that can do the procedure on it. It's not bad. It's not. I went through. I had both mine done at the same time. I can't hear you.
You hit
Dude,
the mute
this,
button again.
dude, this thing muted itself again. I hate that. I don't know why it does that. But yeah, I've got the brace, I got the PT stuff, so we're gonna see how it goes. I got a follow-up appointment coming up, so
Yeah, because insurance made me do PT and injections. I think the first injection gave me some relief, and then I went back like 3 or 4 times after that and got no relief from them.
yeah.
So went ahead and found somebody to do the procedure, and I believe they call it Tommy John's from
Actually, yeah, you know what? That sounds familiar now.
a baseball pitcher back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hopefully, I'm just gonna kind of do all the rehab stuff on my own, and hopefully, I can just get it to the point where it's comfortable and I can ride. I was debating whether or not I would have to bring the brace down for the VAM ride, just because it's so long and just like doing both dragons in 1 week. I don't know. I might just bring them and see if I need them.
When you wear your brace, does your hand swell up?
I do. It's tight, yeah. So
Yeah, because I was losing circulation in my hands, and my hands would swell up. I couldn't.
that's another thing I'm thinking about, if I could even wear it long term, because I wear it now
Yeah.
just to work out, but that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't. But it's no big deal. I mean, shoot, you can't even see. I'll show you next time I see you in person. The scars, you can't even see them. The only thing I told him was my one tattoo. I said, if you can't do it without cutting that tattoo and putting a scar on that tattoo, you're not doing that arm.
Right.
He said, no, I can work around that.
Nice.
It's
The surgery stuff is so much cleaner than it used to be. As far as scars and stuff like that. I remember I had my appendix taken out, and I found out after, because they gave me the choice. It's like, oh, you can get 5 incisions or you can get 1. I'm like, just make it 1. I don't want 5 different incisions now. And then I found out the healing on the 5 was like half as bad as the 1. I was like, why didn't you tell me that?
Yeah, you can't, like, my scars from my 2 surgeries, you can't even really tell they're there unless I point them out. And hopefully I'm done with surgeries. I really don't want any more, so I'll just kind of put them off as much as possible.
I'm to a point now to where whenever I have a really high pain threshold. So whenever I get to hurting, I'm like, let's figure out what's going on, take care of it. Because they give me the option with my back to go through pain management or have the operation. He said, I'd rather you go through pain management. I said, I'd rather just operate and get it corrected. Piss on the pain management.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Smyrna Cowboy. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, when it comes to that stuff, man, I don't like taking pills. I really don't. I don't even like taking the allergy pill I take every day. But
I don't take any pills.
Yeah.
I don't take a single thing.
I'm off the painkillers. I can't do that stuff again. So I already went two bouts of the addiction to those, and that was enough for me. So
they give me prescription when I had my elbow surgery and all that stuff, and I think it's still in the glove box of the truck. Never got it filled.
Yeah, during when we made the trip to Owen this year, I was still kind of nursing that shoulder because it still hadn't quite healed all the way. And I will admit, I was taking the Motrin, but it was the Motrin that had the Tylenol in it, so it was kind of a 2-for-1. And I was taking that pretty regularly. In fact, especially after that. What day was it? Was it the second day when we did the long ride? It was the Hillbilly Hot Dogs one.
That was the third day. God, was that a nightmare. I was hurting after that one.
I was too, man. And that's why I didn't end up having dinner or nothing with you guys. I literally, when I got to the hotel room, I was done. I took a shower, I laid on the bed, and that was it. I was done.
I've ridden that road probably 15, 20 times within a year's span of that meetup. And that day was the hardest. I left it all out there that day.
I think between stress of the ride, obviously with a group, it's always more stressful when you're riding with a group than you're riding, solo or even just a couple of bikes. Um,
You've
but
got so many different people trying to tell you what to do, and it's like, been doing this for a long time. I know what works. And they're like, well, you can't tell people to do this stuff when you're doing this stuff. Wait, when you're doing a big group ride, people want to go where they want to go and they want to ride in the pack where they want to ride. Well,
Right.
if you speak up and you tell them, hey, look, we need the slower, less experienced riders to come to the front of the pack. You know what I mean? Put them at the front. The leader gauges, a good leader will gauge his speed off of them. And then everybody else in the back, because you're going to get it, it's the accordion effect.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
going you're not going to stop it. You're going to get it. Okay? But you put the faster riders in the back, they like going fast. They can play catch up with that accordion effect. They're going fast, they're happy. You got the slow riders up front, they're going slow, they're happy. The only guy that's miserable is the guy leading. That honestly, that's
Yeah.
I've done it. I took 60, 65 bikes across that the year before and didn't have a problem because that's the way I did it. And everybody was like, sometimes you just got to set your pride aside and say, hey, look, I'm not real comfortable. I want to ride a little slower. I'm going to hang out in the front. But most people think, no, the back's slower. No, it's not. The back is the fastest place, especially when you get more than double digit bikes. If you've got 3 or 4, fine. But when you get up to 10, 12, 30,
Yeah.
40
Yeah.
bikes, the leader can be running 35 and the guy in the back's running 80.
I never asked you, like, was there as many people as you thought, or was there more people than we thought was going to come?
There was a couple more. I mean, we ended up with, I think, like 52.
I was gonna say
That's-
for a one-off event,
I was gonna say that's not bad.
yeah, it
Yeah.
felt like it was a pretty good group of people as far as except for that hotel. That hotel, man, was garbage.
I understand that. Ty, I understand where you're coming from with that 100%. And
Yeah.
I won't ask anybody to block that's not comfortable blocking. In fact, I don't want somebody to block for me necessarily as I do. Like when I was doing the ride up to the sheets for the triple nickel ride, I was stopping to try to make sure at the intersections and stop signs and waiting to make sure I had everybody. So if somebody just comes up alongside and says, you got everybody, you're good to go, we can all get out because
Go.
the other cars are going to sit there. They're going to stop. They're going to be courteous enough. They're not going to try to come out, especially when you're at a 4-way intersection. You got that many bikes. They're going to wave everybody by.
Right. Yeah. That is the way to do it. If you can stop and let everyone catch up and then go, I'd much prefer that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily do blockers. I've done stuff where we have had blockers, but I'm not going to ask anybody to commit themselves to do it. I mean, I've blocked for on rides and stuff like that, but I mean,
Yeah, I have. If it's needed, I have no problem jumping out there and blocking. I take
Right.
up more room anyway, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle with the whole thing. I just want a steady pace. I don't want to, the less accordion, the better. But I'm not, I've never been into riding motorcycles for the speed. I had that when I had cars and did that before I had kids. I'm in it to enjoy the ride, and for the most part, I think Own, all things considered, went pretty well. The weather obviously
That was
really
a cluster
sucks.
spot.
I mean, honestly though, considering all the stuff that
Oh,
everything
mhm.
did happen, I think it went out pretty well.
And it's, hey, we gotta go find a place so we can have the catered dinner. You need to take all these guys out on the afternoon ride by yourself. I don't even have my wife with me because she had a bad headache. So she went up to lay down so she could try to ease her headache. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me because everybody's thinking that I know the roads. The only road down there that I knew was the triple nickel. I didn't know none of the other ones. I mapped them out on the Ride Planner app and sent them to my bike, and I had them planned out as the loops that I personally wanted to do. I had it to where we were going to do 3 routes a day and knock all 9 of them out, but that didn't happen.
Mm. Later, Nick.
And Nick and Ashley leaving together.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fun event, but it was just the hotel.
Yeah,
They didn't have your reservation. They didn't have Jason's reservation. They wouldn't let me pay with cash.
I remember that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I get down there and like I reserved with a credit card, but I took cash down. And they're like, yeah, you can't pay with cash. I'm like, excuse me? You can't pay with cash. We got to have a credit card. I said, you have a credit card on file, but I'm paying with cash. I said, if something happens and you got to charge me for something, charge the card. And then they didn't have, threatened to call the fire marshals on us.
That's weird.
Yeah, that was the sad part. We were I think we were under what they actually told them was going to be there, and they did the room they had to house all of us for the dinner. For anybody that watches this later, it wouldn't even house the people we had there. Like,
Yeah. And we told them 50, 60 people. At least Angela did, because she was the one who put all that stuff together.
I felt
Yeah.
so. I honestly thought we were going to have to bail Angela out of the jail that day. I thought for sure she was going to knock somebody out. Like,
There was one night we all went down to the pool, and I took a cooler, and it just had sodas in it. Didn't have alcohol in it, but I was taking it into the pools because there was a lot of people there, and there was still, that was the night of the catered dinner. There was still sodas left, and I didn't want to drag them all the way back home, so I took them in there, and the kid out front at the front desk said, you can't take that stuff in there. And I looked at him and I said, your best bet is just to let us do whatever the fuck we want, including burn this thing down. I said, I'm taking a cooler in here. 1, so somebody doesn't steal it. And 2, so if these guys want to drink, they can have a drink. I said, it's just soda. We're not going to be drinking in the water. You know, we're going to go in here. We're going to sit down. We're going to relax. You've caused enough stress on us, you know? Yeah.
yeah, like I said, Angela, I have never seen. I've seen Angela pretty ticked off, but that was, oof.
Oh, she was.
I would not want to have been the person on the other end of that. I really would have.
Well, everybody asked, are you guys going to do it again? Are you going to do it again? Everybody wants us to do it again. But with the headaches that we went through with that,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, I like the way Mr. G does it. He says, here's what we're going to do. Not this year, Ty. We're not doing it this year, bud. We've had a lot of people asking about doing it again, and we're talking about possibly next year because Be the Rider PA is doing the PAM one,
Right.
which
Yeah,
is
that's in June, I think.
yeah, which that's up here in the same area. So I mean, Ty, if you want to come up to PAM and you want to go ride the triple nickel, I'll take you. It's only 2 hours.
Jarvis.
Jarvis
Hey,
Biker.
Jarvis Biker. What's up? Yeah, I was gonna say we were talking about VAM yesterday on the live stream with all the guys, and we're just saying like, yeah, we just kind of everyone picks their hotels. We all stay within the
Yeah.
same general area. We know where people are gonna be.
Yeah.
And even like if it was unofficial, like let's say for whatever reason, Mr. G said I'm not doing VAM next year, we would probably also go anyways. Because
Right.
we all know the area. We all know, generally whatever. We all talk to each other, so it's like
Well,
a
it's
nice meeting point for everybody.
We kind of broke from the group that on that one after we went to the mine or whatever, because all of us were kind of a little tired and we wanted, we kind of wanted to try something different as far as food, and man, I'll tell you what, that was probably the best time of the whole weekend, was just sitting around with you guys. And man, we had that guy literally rolling on, like the waiter was on the floor laughing. He could not take our order. It took him like 20 minutes
I'd
to
say
get
it
to
took him
take
a
our
while.
order.
He had to come back.
But John was just in full force. It was hilarious.
I think it 2018, maybe it was 2019, before we got the Road Glide, was our first time down to the back of the Dragon. We did an overnight down there. We like left on a Saturday, rode down, camped at Hungry Mother, went into Marion. What was that place called? It was a little barbecue joint, but it's not there anymore. And we had dinner there, camped, got up next morning, rode back across it, went home. That was before they had the big building and all that. They just had the little shack back there. Went and got stickers and a T-shirt, and rode home. And then in 20, we did a trip down to the tail, and we camped down Iron Horse. But I think we were out for 10 days. We did a 10-day trip, and we did some time over in Asheville and stuff. See you later, Ty.
Yeah, see you, Ty.
Later,
Thanks
Ty.
for coming by.
But on the way back up through, the wife was like, "Where's that back of the Dragon at? Are we going to be going past that?" I was like, "Yeah, why?" She was like, "Can we go home that way?" I'm like, "Sure." She loves that road, so we make it a point to. And then Mr. G started VAM in 21, so yeah, we'll go down there.
It feels like it's been longer than that. It really does. It feels like he's been doing VAM for a while. But yeah, I guess you're probably right.
It's only been 3. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I a couple of years ago during COVID, me, my stepdad, and my son's best friend, Nash, we went and did the Blue Ridge Parkway, and probably one of the most beautiful pieces of road as far as views and scenery and all that you can ever ride. And especially if you're a person who likes it, likes a slow ride, it's 35, 45 miles an hour through pretty much the whole round. And I really want to take my wife on that trip because she didn't get to go. She didn't go with us on that one. I had the Sportster back then, and I may try to do that again this year, and try to do at least part of the Blue Ridge Parkway. I still want to do at least part of Route 66. That's still on my bucket list. I was kind of jealous with Jason last year. I was obviously watching his trip all the way out to California, and but my problem is I'd want to stop at like every roadside attraction. Like I'm that guy, and but at least I would like to at least go, not quite up to Chicago, but maybe Peoria, Illinois, or something like that, and catch it roughly in that area, and then at least go to St. Louis and do that part of it.
We
Yeah.
did.
It's on my
all
list,
the-
but it's a ways. It's a trip for me just to get there, and then.
Oh yeah.
then
Have you been down to the tail yet?
I haven't been to the tail yet. No, this will be the first time.
And are you guys staying in Tennessee, or are you guys staying in Virginia?
No, we're gonna stay in Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
in Marysville or something like that.
Yeah, we're staying at Iron Horse, which is probably 20, 25 minutes from Deals Gap.
Okay.
So I think we're probably about are you staying at the hotel Doyle's staying at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
we're all
we're
staying
about
at the same place.
45 minutes apart, maybe.
All right. Yeah, we'll
Something like that.
we'll figure out the timing and all of that.
Well, I was looking, what day are you guys going down?
So we'll be riding in on the Monday and doing a tail and everything on Tuesday.
Okay, because we're leaving that Saturday, and the way I'm going, we're going to stop in Lexington, and then ride. We're going to spend the night in Lexington, and from there we're going to ride the rest of it down Sunday. So we'll be down there Sunday night to get set up and everything.
Okay.
But you guys are riding in on Monday.
Yeah, because we're all meeting up. I have to leave the Saturday, so I get down there, and then the Sunday I'm meeting everybody up, and then Monday we're gonna end up in Tennessee,
Okay.
and then do the whole day of riding on Tuesday, and Wednesday we're gonna start riding up to Tazewell.
Okay. I think north by southeast, he said he'd come up that way.
Yeah.
And Patrick, Motor Ramblings, he said he'd come over and camp. He said he loves Iron Horse.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's around the Cowboys. He's got to see what's going on. That's kind of in his area too. So let's see
A
what he's.
casino on a boat there in Pirua.
PR
There's a
or
scene.
Your
something.
is that down by Deals Gap and all that stuff, Jarvis? If so, meet us down there and you can take us out for steaks.
Yeah, it's not that much further. It's like another 2 hours or so.
I know we were down there in 20, and that was like the start of COVID and all that stuff and shutdowns. And then we ended up riding Moonshiner 28. My buddy that was with me, he'd never been that far south on Moonshiner 28, so he didn't get to see the falls. So we went down to the falls. And then if you follow 28, it just takes you down to the Highlands, which will end up taking you back up into Cherokee. And he's like, "It's your day, you lead. You go where you want to go." Well, I just kept going south, and there's a hurricane coming up. We ended up down. We ended up running through a hurricane in South Carolina. Yeah,
Oh,
we ended up all the way down in South Carolina at Tim's Harley Davidson, and then ate it all of there.
Jesus.
VAM dates again.
July 11th is the Thursday. So Thursday, so 11th, 12th, 13th.
So
But
yeah,
we're going to be
earlier
around
this year.
down around Deals Gap the weekend before.
Right. So like July 8th, 9th will be down in Tennessee.
Yeah, and then what? The 10th we're riding back up to
Right.
Tazewell
Yeah.
to
So the
go
10th.
to the area.
Yeah. So we'll be back in Tazewell by the 10th to get some stuff done. So see some other things before VAM starts.
Yeah.
'Cause it's funny because we're like riding around, we're like, ooh, look at that place, look at that place. And we were talking, we're like, we never have that little bit of extra time to see that stuff. So I'm excited to do that and then have have the regular van meetup.
Yeah, the other thing that sucks with honestly for me with the VAM, not that the hotels we stay at aren't terrible, but in the same boat, there's not a lot of hotels in that area. Like
No.
you think there would be more. Um,
There's Airbnbs. Honestly, I did Airbnb with HDR last year, and it cost me just as much as it would cost us for a hotel.
We were actually
Yeah.
starting to think about that. Like if we're going down as a group again, we might just do a big Airbnb and try to save some money
Yeah.
and have a slight, nicer place.
My only problem with when you get groups like that into Airbnbs and these meetups and stuff like that, it's about socializing with everybody, and you tend to get these groups of guys that they get the Airbnb
And
and
they stay
they
there.
just they stay there and they hang out and they don't and there's people there who rode thousands of miles so they could meet this person and then they don't get to meet them.
Right.
You know? And
That's a
one
good.
yeah,
thing
I have no idea who you're talking about.
when we did when we did own, one thing that was always preached on, and it was HDR who was doing it a lot, was have a meetup and have a central location with a hotel where everybody could be there, and that's what we tried to do with own. But unfortunately, the hotel was shit. So
yeah,
I think we owe people one on that one because of how the hotel was so crappy. And I'd rather just say, hey guys, here's a list of hotels. You pick where you want to stay. Because I've got the camper now. That's where I'll be staying.
well, Des wasn't too far away, was she? Because
No, she wasn't. Actually, I rode in over there. Um, I got down there early, and I took her some fresh eggs. Her and Patrick were over there. It was a pretty nice campground.
where exactly? I know it was close, but I don't know exactly where she was at. What do you remember? What the
It was
campground?
under the stars.
Under the stars. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was right around the corner. There's some pretty nice roads getting over there to it.
I will say, getting to finally meet Des, I'd had a lot of conversations privately and publicly with her. With some of the stuff that they do with the Badgers, and then getting to meet Patrick. I mean, those are the two nicest people on the planet. Like them and Ty, and it's like you can't they're so down to earth people. It just really, really, not that it didn't surprise me, but it did. You know what I mean? But I think that's what's nice about the group that we all kind of associate with in this part of the motovlog community or whatever. Obviously, we're not an Adam Sandoval, we're not, Blockhead, those kind of guys. But I think the funnest part of being part of this group is getting to hang out with all of you guys and sit back and drink one once in a while and just talk shit and enjoy the ride and enjoy the stories. And for me, that's just that like I said, the funnest thing for me for VAM this year was literally sitting at that little restaurant just hanging out and shooting the shit. That was the best part for me. Like, not that I really, I finally got to do, that part of the Dragon, and definitely it was fun, cutting it off the list, but just hanging out with everybody was really where I think for me that's why I do this. This is not, I don't do this for fame. I don't do this for fortune. I'm not looking to get famous. Oh my goodness.
Grace.
Yeah. She pops in every once in a while in chats and stuff. But just getting, like I said, getting to hang out with everybody, I think is probably my favorite part. Of doing all this.
It was great being able to bring Randy down for the first time. That was like his longest road trip ever. And then John from Road Reality was also his longest road trip ever.
Yeah, John was like, I've never gone more than 200 miles in a day, and then all of a sudden he does this big ass trip.
Right, so not only is it their first road trip, then they hit the back of the Dragon, and they get to meet everybody, which was super cool.
Right. I felt bad. I felt bad for John though that one day he definitely overdid it.
I need to talk with him because if you watch his videos, I get comfort there, and we're all more comfortable around the area we live in and stuff like that.
Right.
But that dude he's more skilled than he believes in himself. I need to get with him because I did with another guy here locally who actually wrecked his bike on a ride we were with him on, and I got that dude turned around. I think that with a little bit of help and push, we can get John turned around too.
And honestly, I thought John, and I should have told him.
I'm not saying to ride like an idiot like I do a lot of times, but I mean, we can get him. He just lacks his confidence. We need to get his confidence because that's in.
Well, if you've watched some of his more recent videos, the post VAM, he actually you see that he is doing more.
He's been out in
he's been doing more different roads and more curvier roads and but in having that conversation with John, and he was like, oh yeah, I've never done more than 200 miles in a day, and I've never done this kind of curvy road, and I'm like,
he's inside his own head.
Yeah,
this maybe it wasn't the best ride for him for that first out, but
also I kind of didn't realize it either. Like, there's a lot of learning curve going with a long road trip of hydration and some other stuff that you don't think of, kind of off the bike stuff, just being, taking care of yourself on it, so you don't realize that you get beat up.
Cup holder, man. Cup holder.
Yeah, but he's chugging coffee, so he's not chugging water or anything.
Yeah. Look at D.A. Bishop.
I know.
That's all that dude drinks is coffee all day long.
And he is all over the place. And I think he was unsure a while ago when I asked him, but someone recently asked him, and he might be down there around July. So
I know he's going to be at VAM because that's when we're doing the 4-foot sticker deal. I was going to mail it to him, but he said, no, just bring it to me at VAM.
Okay, so he is going. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to haul a 4-foot sticker around.
Coffee is hydration. Well, I guess, kind of, maybe.
It's mostly water.
Yeah. If I had that much coffee, I'd explode. But
I don't drink coffee, so I mean,
I can't. It's way too much of a caffeine hit at once for me. I got to do like the energy drinks where it's kind of more of a slow hit.
Yeah, that stuff don't work for me. I get more so in a mental state to where I'm like, all right, this shit has to be done no matter how long it takes, and sometimes I'll be up for 3 or 4 days getting shit done. I may fall asleep standing up at the end.
That was like our go-to back in the day. They don't make it anymore. Was a Soviet adrenaline rushes. We literally, I think we stayed up an entire weekend building a ring for a show, slept on a couch, and then did the show, and then tore the ring down again.
Yeah.
Like it's just we did the same thing. We had to get something done, and we just stayed up and did it.
Oh, remember when you could actually get like real ephedrine like at a gas station
I know.
and be up for 30 hours straight?
Those were the days.
I did. I had to go down to North Carolina to get my mom to bring her up because my grandma was in the hospital. It's been several years ago. I just got done working afternoon shift. Had been up all day and all day the day before, all day and all night the day before. So I'd already been 40 hours, and
Damn.
I ended up grabbing 2 of the big Red Bulls, 12 Airheads, and like 4 Slim Jims. North Carolina and back in like 13 hours.
Holy
Damn.
shit. That's crazy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Yeah.
I have to add that to my videos too. Like, this is what I allegedly did.
Dude, I
My-
thought of Van. I swore you.
I thought my
you
heart
were
was
getting pulled
going to
over
explode.
and getting arrested that day.
Oh, that
I
I
cannot
was.
believe.
Yeah, he didn't even move. He didn't even try. He didn't even. And I'm wondering it's because he knew the exit was right there, and I had already shifted lanes because I was ready to dip.
Yeah.
So-
How about Wayne? Wayne's riding around with no helmet on. Jarvis?
Was it? Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I get that because it is the law down there. But I mean, like it wasn't
Literally.
just like he blew past like 6 or 7 of us.
And then full tuck past like the cop.
Yeah. I mean, he was doing.
I was
he was
over 9.
He was allegedly doing almost triple digits.
Yeah.
And I literally on the comms, me and my wife, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like he's going to jail. I was like, "I'm gonna have to call and get him bailed out of jail tonight."
Yeah. I had an exit strategy coming up.
Oh, dude, but that would have made one hell of a
Oh.
video later.
I don't want to purposely make that type of video, but if it happens, I'm just gonna have to behave a little bit more, while I'm down there.
Time and place.
Yeah, so I got Melissa coming down with me this year. Randy can't come down, so she's got an RG3, and it's gonna be her first big long road trip. So I told her, I'm like, 1, you got to keep up, and 2, there's gonna be a couple 500-mile days we got to do. So those are the caveats, and she said okay. So I'm like, all right, this is
What color?
It's black.
Ah,
So
before
black
you
with
had-
the. She got
before
the.
you paid extra.
Yeah, she got it before the whole deal.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I'm like, I can't believe they did that. I'm like, gray's the new black, apparently. So,
Yeah. Yeah, now we just got to get Paul to get a bike or something that he can ride down. So.
They got a bunch of gray, ugly ass paint left over they're trying to get rid of.
I will say though that shark skin color. There's been a couple of Ram did a built to serve edition Ram 1500 that was in that same color, almost identical color, and I'm like, man, if I had a matching set.
Yeah.
I don't know why that color speaks to me.
The only I didn't see one in person. I just saw like some videos and some pictures. Or no, I take that back. I did see one in person when I did the Adam Sandoval deal. But the 120th anniversary CVO Road Glide Limited. That was the only one that I saw that appealed to me, and I didn't really look at any of the other models while we were in deal. That was the only time I was in dealerships was when we did the Adam Sandoval thing last year, and I haven't seen one of the new CVOs or the new fairings or anything in person. I don't care to. I mean, they're overpriced bikes, and to be honest with you, at the time, the dealership was good to me, and the people were good to me, and that's why I bought the bike. Otherwise, I'd have bought something else. I'd never bought a Harley, but I found my first Harley for like $5,000. So, and the dealership treated me right, so I bought 2 other bikes off of them. But things went downhill after this bike, so I mean,
So you're
I
saying
kicked
it's
myself in
Goldwing.
the ass because you're paying $33,000 back then for a bike that you got to add stuff to, like lights and this, that, and the other. And then you can buy a Goldwing, which comes with all that shit.
Yeah,
Right.
they're only just now, like, you know, the whole LED light thing. I mean, this is the first year that most of them, I think, come with all LEDs. Like,
Yeah, it's not even all of them. It's most of them. I think. I forget
Yeah.
which ones
Do-
aren't.
Do you want to know why? The federal government, and all their infinite wisdom, is starting to ban incandescent light bulbs. You're
It's
not
coming.
going to be able to, for your house, you're not going to be able to go to the store and buy an incandescent bulb. You're going to have to buy an LED bulb.
Can you even buy an incandescent bulb for your house anymore? I don't think I've seen one in forever. Except maybe like an appliance bulb.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
But I will admit, if I didn't buy a Harley, I would buy a Honda. Like that would probably be my next. I'm about to have a cat jump on the back of my chair.
But yeah, it's interesting you talk about the LEDs. Can-Am just started putting LEDs on their stuff now. Only certain models now.
Because they're going to get rid of the leftover stock of incandescent stuff, and then it's going to be mandated where everything's going to be LED. And personally, in cars, I wish they would go back to using lead-based paint on the roads so you could see the stripes,
Yeah.
and at the same time, go back to the halogen bulbs because you weren't blinding everybody, and you could see to drive at night.
Damn straight.
Yeah.
You know, now you can't see a drive at night because the lines on the roads, the paint don't hold up, and the reflection don't hold up, and everybody's headlights they're not aimed right, and they're too damn bright.
And the rear directionals need to go back to being yellow and not red.
Yes.
And they need to be like not on the bottom of the bumper. Because I've seen cars with that. I'm like, I didn't even know the guy was turning.
or
But
I've,
way
I've
down on the
seen-
bottom.
I've seen some that are way on the top too that are just as bad.
Yeah.
They're kind of tucked away, and you can't hardly see them.
And the other thing with bikes, like Travis don't have to worry about because he's not in a state where he has to have inspection. With states that have inspections and stuff like that, guys put these magic strobes on, all this and that. Well, guess what? Those won't pass inspection. So then they bitch because they got to take it off, and then after they get their bike inspected, they put it back on. Those things are a distraction. You know what I mean? When your light lights up solid, I know you're braking. When it's flashing left, I know, not this bullshit to where everything on the back's lighting up, whether you're braking or turning. I just, there's some stuff I get what they're trying to do with it, but it's a bad idea. The camper had a strobe brake light on it. I pulled that off when I redid all the wiring. I ain't putting that thing back on there.
Yeah, I added the fender lights because I don't think the Riker came with enough lights. Like it just had the headlights and the brake lights, and that was it. There was no other. I thought things on the fender were just reflectors. So
Right.
I added the fender lights and I integrated those with the blinker, so you could actually. So if I'm turning left, the left fender lights up. So so people can see
Yeah.
that I'm actually turning now, and you can see it from behind too. I'm like,
Right.
that I think should be factory. 'Cause now you can actually tell that the bike is turning.
That should be.
So
That should be. And like, okay, people take the reflectors off the forks and off the saddlebags and all this and that. Well, guess what? You go to get that bike inspected in a state that requires inspection,
now you need.
and
Yep.
you don't know a guy. You get the wrong guy on the wrong day. Guess what? You're putting your rejection sticker.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the proper stuff. People say, well, them reflectors look ugly. Well, they might look ugly, but they're there for a purpose.
It's interesting, and especially for the state of Massachusetts, they're strict on cars, but they don't give a damn about motorcycles. You go in there, they're like check, okay, done. Like they don't care. I've been to a couple different places the same way. They just look at it, make sure everything's legit. They're like, do your lights work? Does it, basic stuff? All right,
Mirrors,
you're
and
good to
that's
go.
it.
That's
It's like-
because
It's like $15 to like register and like all that stuff. It's wicked cheap for a bike.
yeah, the majority of I have my West Virginia state inspection license, and the majority of inspection shops don't get enough motorcycles coming through, and they don't work on motorcycles. Now, if you go to a motorcycle dealership to get inspected and you don't have this stuff on there, yeah, chances are they're going to slap you.
Yeah, before the place closed up on in New Bedford, I don't know, Paul, if you remember Archie's old Honda place. the old Honda bike place on the Ave.
No.
No,
Nope.
but he finally closed up shop. But he did my inspections when I had the Spider, and he was just like, "Oh, this is cool. Okay, here you go." Like he didn't even like look at it.
Why'd you go from a Spider to a Riker?
So it was cost, and I was talking to the wife too. She was gonna ride less with me, so I didn't like it was like a multiple things. It was her not riding with me. The base model Spider was like 18, 19 grand now. I'm like, that's just base. That's not me getting the model that I want. And just the type of riding and stuff I was gonna be doing. I got that Riker Sport out the door
Right.
for like 12 grand.
That's cheap.
And all the mods, I'm not even up to 18 grand yet. So I'm not even up to that base model of what I would have been spending on the Spider. And it's so much easier to work on. Like all the plastic will come off, the little hood piece will come off, and everything is right there. Where the Spiders are just you're spending 45 minutes taking body panels off.
Right.
It's the Honda syndrome.
Yeah, I mean just for an oil change on that Spider, half of it was me jacking it up and taking the panels off. And then, like, it would take me maybe 10, 15 minutes to actually get the filters out and do the oil, and then another 45 minutes to put the thing back together. And then the dealer would want to charge you like $300 for an oil change because of all of that.
Yeah.
And then they would keep it for a week. I'm like, well, I can just spend a couple hours in my driveway and just do it.
Right.
Yeah, oil change is one of those things I don't. I like. There's some things like tires. I'll take that to a shop, but like oil changes and plugs, I'm not going to spend that kind of money. It's $60-80 worth of parts, and I have the tools to do it. So
Yeah, I'm gonna do plugs. I'm gonna do the CVT belt because that's coming up, and then I'm gonna do a clutch kit while I do the CVT belt and all of that. So it's gonna be, and that's gonna be it for this year. Then maintenance stuff. I'm gonna need a rear tire at some point. So, especially once I do the clutch kit, I'll definitely need a rear tire. So.
Well, just don't go down to the tail and slide around the curves and run off the mountain.
No, I'm gonna try to find a decent rear car tire, but something. It can't be a drag radial because I gotta still be able to have traction in the wet, and especially
Yeah,
going down
because-
dam and stuff. So I gotta find an in between tire that's still performance but still has some good wet traction.
One, Van, we all know because we've been there, it's going to rain. And
Yeah.
two, down there at the tail, it always rains. At some point in time, part of that road is wet.
all right,
At
guys.
some point in time.
I'm actually going to dip out. I'm getting ready for bed. I got to be up pretty early in the morning. Thankfully, I don't have to be up as early as this morning. I was up at 3 a.m. to be in at 4:30, but I still got to be up early.
Yeah, that's
So,
earlier than me. All right, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you hopping on for a little bit.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm always happy to chit chat. Like I
Yep.
said, we'll have to do like a Raw wrestling one just for fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get some wrestling crews together. We'll get Chris Lawson in here. We'll get Technic Rides in here, and we'll talk wrestling.
That sounds
Talk
like
to
fun.
Mr. G, have him set up a wrestling ring down there somewhere.
Don't tempt him. He will freaking do it. Like there's no doubt in my mind he would. They'll set it up in the middle of in town and turn it into a midget wrestling match or something.
Okay, now we have to do it. We
Yeah,
have
You
to.
got me at midget
Like-
in wrestling, so
Yeah.
I want to. I've been so tempted. There's been a few up here by the house, and I've been so tempted. Like I keep hey, can we go? Asking the wife, "Okay, can we go to this?" And she's like, "No, you're not going to go see midget wrestling."
I would spend double of what it costs to go to midget wrestling
I'd rather go to that than AEW. So
at this point.
Yeah. But all right, appreciate
All
it,
right.
guys.
All right.
Later.
I don't want to wrestle sheep, Jarvis. I want to go ride a bull.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Not a mechanical one either. My YouTube feed is full of like my stuff that I watch. It's full of nothing but bull riding now. I don't know why.
Yeah, the algorithm gets you, and it's like, oh, you want to watch bull riding, huh?
Yeah.
Send you
Yeah,
all those
that's-
videos.
nothing but ghost hunting in video games
Yeah,
and
Well, my-
AWS stuff.
yeah. Yeah, my work one is. I was gonna say my work one is different than my home one because it's just what I
Well,
need to.
mine was all because this thing with McStash. He told me, he said, I got room for a few more, bud. I ain't 50 yet. I think I can heal up some more. But the McStash thing where I'm taking over the King of Swag, he had messaged me some pretty not so nice remarks, and I said, "Damn." He said, "Well, mess with the bull, you get the horns." So that's why I did the little Instagram reel of which Road Reality actually put that together for me.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
I sang the logos, and he put McStash's logo over the bull, my logo over the rider. So my logo is riding the bull. So,
Nice.
and since I did that, looking for that video, because I took that video off of YouTube with 4K downloader. I took that video off of YouTube and sent it to him. Said, "Here, use this clip." He did a really good job with it. So now my YouTube feed is full of nothing but bull riding.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out of here and help the wife get the kids to bed.
All right, no problem, man.
But
Have a good
thanks
day.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
All right. All righty. So we got 7 people still watching. Got some people in the chat, so still got some time.
I'm just downloading video games in the background.
Okay.
I'm downloading Phasmophobia right now.
Nice.
Well, Alexis has decided she wants to start playing video games on the computer. So I'm like, okay, it's a lot different than playing on the PlayStation 4.
Yep, you get into the PC gaming, it's a whole different world.
Yeah. Let's see how good she does with a 3/4 keyboard.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanna, as soon as I get this office renovated, I'll try to get like some sort of TV or something, a console set up. That way I can
Yeah.
just jump between PC and console gaming.
See,
All right, Jarvis. Thanks for stopping by. Jarvis, if
Later.
you do the VAM thing, let us know, because we're gonna be, like I said, we're gonna be going south and in the Tazewell, VAM, Tennessee area before VAM starts. So let's see how that goes. See if we can meet up with you at some point. Yeah, not too bad today. Still got some energy for now, but I know as soon as this ends and I walk upstairs, like the energy is just gonna be like, "Brrr."
Yeah, as soon as I sit up in that recliner upstairs and try to put on Netflix, yeah, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, I gotta stay moving. Like as soon as I stop, that's when it hits me. I gotta stay moving. I gotta stay active. I gotta keep doing stuff, and that's what happens at these VAMs on these road trips. Like we'll hang out at the hotel at night, and then like slowly it starts going down. Like all right, it's like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, all right, now I gotta go to bed.
It's the same thing with the paranormal investigations. It'll be like 10 o'clock and we're all ready for bed. And I was like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we going to sleep? Wake up and let's go.
But yeah, I mean, with work, I mean, I gotta wake up at 5:30, so it's not like I can pound like a Mountain Dew or anything. So like, I gotta go to sleep.
This morning, the freaking alarm went off, and I'm like, why is my alarm? Oh, I never shut that off, and the kids don't even have to get up to go to school. I was like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, the holiday was great. So I didn't sleep in, but I got more done this morning because I knew my drive in would be less traffic. So
Yeah, I don't know what a holiday is. I was working all day.
Yeah, we worked it. So,
So,
but then the parent company had it off, and then Titleist had it off in the industrial park, so there was no traffic. Because
wow,
when Titleist works, like all their plants are open, like it's my longest part of my commute is the exit from the highway to the industrial park, because everyone's trying to get into the 1 or 2 entrances in the industrial park. So, but yeah, and then when the train comes down, it'll be even worse. So
yeah, I gotta figure out how to live stream World of Warships. Gotta figure that out.
yeah, the issue I have is because I full screen everything, but I have the 49-inch monitor, so it looks weird.
Wow.
So
I got a 37, but
Yeah, it might not look as weird on a 37, but I have to put mine. I have to shrink mine down so it fits the box and it looks decent for streaming. But then it sucks because I like playing with the wider monitor so I can see more on the sides. I've noticed my games have been better. So there's probably something that I can still run the full screen, but when I stream it shrinks it down. There's got to be some sort of middle ground or middle software that'll do that for me.
I wish I had my setup from work. I got the 37-inch curved in the middle, and then two 37s on the side, so it's huge.
I've been thinking about a different setup at work, but I don't know if they're going to go for it. I want the curved screen at work, but I don't know.
Get a doctor's note. Tell them it hurts your eyes.
Well, I want a 49-inch curved there. What I have at home, I want the Samsung curved because I'm used to working on it and I can fit so much stuff on it. But I don't think they're going to bite for $1,000 for just a monitor. But we'll see. And I'll need a PC to run it too. So
yeah, because the LG here at home work bought it was like $400 when it first came out.
Yeah,
and it's already 3 years old.
Yeah. This monitor's COVID money, so this was old. But I don't think I could ever go back like now with this one giant screen. It's amazing.
No, I kind of want to add at least another curved one here above this curved one, and then two 37s, up and down.
Vertical.
Yeah.
I'll have to see how my new desk pans out. Like when I renovate, I'll definitely gain space with the new desk, so I'll kind of see what I can do.
I know my buddy Carlos right now. He's got 4 TVs, all hooked into each other. So yeah, it looks pretty badass. But this is the same dude who's got like 5 16 terabyte drives in his computer because he runs a Plex server off of it.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, dude, you got way too much money. I'm like 16 terabytes. Those things are like $400 or $500 right now.
Yeah, I'm having issues with not having issues, but with space, because the way I'm doing the videos now, I'm upping the compression and all that, so the files are much bigger. Let me look. So that's a gig, which isn't bad. That's 3 gig, which isn't bad. So yeah, but like some of these other videos are like 3 or 4 gig or like 5 gig, and I'm doing multiple videos, so that it adds up over time. So once it reaches a certain point, I gotta shoot them off to an external drive, and because I can't work off the external drive because it's too slow. I got to keep everything. It's much faster if everything's directly connected.
I got 6 hard drives on this desktop now.
Oh, you jammed everything in there now?
Oh no! Like make that 7 because I added another one of those M.2s to the board.
Oh, forgot they could fit that.
Yeah, so one drive's just for the video game install. So if the operating system goes down, I don't have to reinstall everything again.
Yeah, that's what I do. I got OS, video games, and then YouTube stuff.
I bought one of those. So the front of the computer had a media, but I added another media drive that has more USB 3.0s and anything you can possibly think of, but it also has an expansion bay. And on the top of it, you can add another hard drive to it. So I did.
Nice.
Well, the MPA videos, dude, they get big after a while.
Yeah.
Especially if you're taking them off a cell phone and because my Android phone is 22 megapixel.
Okay.
So it's better than literally like all of these.
Well, it's just, you guys are doing the highest quality possible, obviously, for what you're doing. So, and you're constantly going. So yeah, that's a lot of shit.
It's a lot of editing. I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take these 5 videos and I'm just gonna paste them together, and I'm just gonna put like a friggin' transition between each video. I'm trying not to edit anything anymore because I don't have a rating on my channel, so I don't really give a crap.
Right.
And if we're sitting there swearing, that's what we do. That's what we do in the field. We swear if something's like, "What the fuck was that?"
Right.
I'm not gonna sit there and bleep it out. It makes no sense.
Yeah, almost go for like the actual realism part of it. Like this is what
Yeah.
really happens, with the cameras rolling.
We're at the part. Me and Steve are at the part where we're about ready to start doing like storyboards, like the way we want to do camera angles and stuff.
Yeah.
Make it look a little bit better and cleaner.
Yeah, just so that
Right now,
for like a presentation type. So
yeah, right now it's just friggin' just put together,
right.
and I'm constantly behind the camera, so I'd rather be
Right.
in front of the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to get the schedules and see if I can help you guys out with that.
Oh, and if you need help, let me know because I have 3 camera rigs over here that I made out of cell phones.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta do obviously I gotta wait for the weather, but I gotta do the recall on the bike and then I gotta get
Yep.
this clutch thing done. And then I want to do that video that I was talking about where I bring everybody in and do
Yeah.
all the different scenes and stuff. So which will probably be filmed in parts. And spoiler alert for anyone watching, still, like, yeah, I'm trying to get some big video going, but the way that I have it out, we could literally film a piece a day, like, and then put it all together. Like, it doesn't have to be like it's not time driven or anything like that. So if I can get certain people on one day, we'll film one part, and just kind of see how it goes.
I got a couple action cameras right now. They're not GoPros, but they're made by Newer.
I have those.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I convert them into full spectrum, so they're gonna be like purple and white hue. But dude, that would be pretty slick on a bike, riding that and seeing what it looks
Just
like.
getting different views. Yeah. Yeah, when I do that, that video is gonna be 4K. Like we'll just turn everything up and just
Yeah.
just the best quality we could get out of it.
I still got a drone sitting over here that hasn't been flown yet.
Yeah.
So-
Oh, I have shots for the drone too. We can do that. But yeah, I'd rather do it while the bike's done and while that tire's already worn out, because then I can slide it out better. So I can get the
Okay.
scenes that I actually want. Because if I throw a new tire on there, I'm not going to get the scenes that I want because I'm going to have to wear it out. So
Just as long as you're not gonna pull a Richard and you're gonna put some bleach down and do a burnout.
no.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was probably a bad decision.
No, that was freaking hilarious. Just keep adding the bleach. Keep adding No, don't.
Oh man. Yeah, it looks like we're at the 2-hour mark and we're down to the 3 viewers here. So well, that was weird. It says 7 on this side. But this hasn't updated. Started streaming 5 minutes ago. Yeah, see my thing reset on YouTube. That's weird.
2 hours. Holy hell. That went quick.
Yeah, it definitely went quick. But yeah, it was fun. Just a random surprise live stream. So
Well, yeah. Whatever you need to do to get content, let me know. I'll help.
yep. So just at this point, just waiting on the weather. So I got everything else
Yeah.
ready to go, and I got to do that stupid recall. So that's also gonna probably be once I send it to the dealer, that'll be a week. So
Yeah, I'm waiting for my taxes or my bonus to come so I can fix the Camaro because I can't drive it right now. Yeah, let's just say the door shifted, driver's side door shifted. So when I opened it, it dented the front fender and dented the door.
that's what they do. Yeah.
Now I can't get into it unless I go to the passenger side or go to the trunk like I've been doing.
Yeah, those F bodies, they all have the same problems.
Oh, trust me, if I could change the doors in that where I could, either Lambo door it or suicide door it, that'd be so much better.
Right. But yeah, maybe we'll get that thing running, get some Camaro videos.
Yeah, it's because it's got brand new tires on it. I think I've driven it like 8 times in the last 5 years. I'm at the point where I'm about ready to trade it for either a Jeep or trade it towards a ambulance.
Get a used ambulance.
I want to take the ambulance and turn it into a ghost hunting mobile.
See, that would work. You would have everything that you have. Would
All
fit
the
in that thing.
storage is there. There's seats on the side. I can sleep on the gurney if I pull over on the side of the road somewhere.
You could have, you could
Would that
already
be
have,
really disturbing? Yes.
but you could already have the screens and everything set up in there. You could have that like a mobile center.
Yep,
wouldn't-
mobile
you
command
would-
center. That was the
yeah.
point.
You wouldn't really have to take anything down. Just keep it all up and going.
Like I can't even take those seats out of there on the side and put bunk beds in there.
Well, if you need one, I know a guy named Mo that might be able to find you an ambulance. So I still talk to those
Yeah.
guys.
Ah, man,
But
I'm trying to get us out there. That's what the problem is.
yeah, we're gonna try this year. We're gonna try to do some cross stuff and see what we can do.
Oh
Just gotta
yeah.
wait. Just gotta wait for the weather in this winter to get past us.
Yep.
Because either way, for both of us, it sucks doing this shit in the cold. So
When we did that investigation 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Now it was like 54 degrees, so it was like perfect for that day.
right.
There was no snow, nothing. But if we had waited this past weekend, hell's no.
Oh, you probably wouldn't have been able to do it.
No.
Oh, it was way too much.
So, yeah, we ended up walking like 4.5 miles that day.
Damn.
So, yeah, it was fun. I'm editing the video now, so I'm trying to get that posted up, later this week. I still have a
Nice.
video from August that I still haven't put up. There's no time.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got a whole backlog of stuff that I'm using. Just when I can't get out a ride, I just bust out one of those random ride videos or something. Just from content that I have just saved.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do.
But yeah. So I guess that's that. So everyone's, I think, done watching us. This hasn't moved. No one in the chat. So
You should have a WrestleMania party, like
Should-
a stream, just sitting there talking about the matches.
we got to figure something out like that. We got to do something wrestling related. Just get everybody going.
Because I have a feeling this WrestleMania is going to be it's going to be slick.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that out in a way that it makes sense and like not everyone's talking over each other, or maybe just me or whatever. So, because I think I can show what's happening if I'm commentating over it, so I can't get taken down or copywritten or anything
Yep.
for it. So it's fair use at that point.
Yeah, as long as
So-
you don't show the video either of WrestleMania either. You literally can have it
No.
on in the background and just talk over it.
I could do that, but there are people who actually show some of the videos, but I think they are getting more strict on that now. So I'll have to see.
It's because it's YouTube.
Yeah. But there's nowhere else to go. Rumble's not taking off, so whatever. No- Yeah, no one even knows about Rumble.
There's other ones. There's a lot of people that use different other streaming platforms.
Yeah, I wish Twitch was more YouTube-like, instead of just live streaming.
Yeah, but it's Twitch. Twitch.tv. Come on.
Yeah. But all right, we'll just call it, and we'll get together another time and do this again.
All right.
All
I'm
right,
game.
so live is now over. Thanks for everyone who stopped by. Travis, Andy, for the surprise Monday Night Live, and Rat Master hanging out, talking wrestling. So
You too.
we'll see you guys on the next one.
Later.